Have you ever met someone whose version of nice acts like a psychological trap? You know the type. A strictly calculated smile plastered on their face, even when you know they are seething underneath, refusing to engage with reality. Psychologically, this is often what we call facade behavior, where a mask of agreeableness is worn to aggressively withhold negative emotion instead of resolving it. We are actually revolted by these individuals because their warmth feels manufactured, almost cheap, like a shark wears pearls just to lure you in. It creates that uncomfortable social silence where everyone pretends everything is okay, but nothing is true regarding the actual connection. We are tired of the velvet glove hiding a steel fist because it masks a total lack of integrity. Unlike true kindness, fake niceness acts as a shield that allows people to ignore their own darkness. True connection requires genuine friction, not polite fiction. We have to stop confusing safety with kindness to find the real answers. Let's be brutally honest. We love to label ourselves nice, but if we strip away the ego to see what that behavior actually is, we often find it's not generosity at all. In psychology, true niceness isn't a warm glow of service. It is frequently a primitive, survival-based reflex. Think back to when you were a child and learned that by being good and suppressing your own needs, you stayed safe. That lesson wired itself into your brain like a computer program. Today, you aren't actually being kind. You are submitting. You say yes when you mean no, because the ghost of conflict still haunts you. You are painting a fake smile to keep people close, mistaking compliance for connection. You aren't serving anyone. You are blindly serving the terrifying fear of being disliked. Ever feel like being nice is just your default armor, a heavy coat you wear to keep people from walking away? There's a distinct difference between kindness and that hollow, people-pleasing niceness we often mistake for it. In the clinical world, we call this the fawn response, a survival reflex, where you abandon your own needs to appease others and avoid perceived danger. It's like being a chameleon, constantly shifting colors to match the room, terrified that if you stand up for yourself, you'll trigger rejection. You eat your own boundaries like a meal, just to buy a moment of safety. But trading your truth for approval isn't just disheartening. It's a fast track to losing your identity. Once you realize that being nice was just a survival strategy, you can finally start choosing kindness instead. Think about that always helpful friend who helps, but always keeps a mental chalkboard tally of exactly who they've saved. It feels like benevolence, but psychologically, there is a trapdoor hidden in that smile. True niceness isn't selfless. It is actually a hidden transaction. When you offer that phantom favor, you aren't actually giving. You are stacking an invisible debt on the receiver's ledger. It forces a dynamic where they feel small and flattered, only to be expected to repay you later. It creates an unspoken expectation that you are the hero of the story, shifting from a gift to a demand. That pressure for gratitude isn't kindness. It is a boundary violation. Feeling indebted for something you didn't ask for? That is utterly rude. Many of us confuse agreeability with true kindness, mistaking a smile for moral fortitude. Yet psychologists tell us that kindness is actually a ruthless framework rooted in courage and love. Being merely nice is often just a defense mechanism to suppress our own anxiety, but authentic kindness requires you to stand your ground like a lighthouse in a storm. It demands high emotional intelligence to speak the ugly truth when a friend is making a self-destructive mistake, rather than enabling them for a quiet life. It involves the emotional muscle to set boundaries that protect your peace, realizing that saying no is not hate, it is a radical form of self-respect. Because unless you have the courage to challenge a behavior you actually care about, is it really kindness at all? You know that fake smile you wear while quietly letting your boundaries get trampled? That isn't true kindness. In psychology, we see nice as a cheap sugar rush of dopamine. It leaves you feeling empty, but keeps everyone happy. That is a jelly spine. Kindness, however, requires steel. It is the active courage to prioritize your core values over someone else's immediate comfort. Think of your moral compass like medicine. Sometimes the truth tastes bitter. If I never correct a harmful pattern in a friend because it would make things awkward, I'm not being kind, I'm being complicit. True kindness is the bravery to say the hard thing, demanding you grow a backbone. It's about loving people enough to call out their BS. It requires you to step up, prove you care, and facilitate their growth, even when they hate you for it in the moment. There is a chilling irony to the so-called nice person who treats you poorly but plays the eternal victim whenever reality strikes back. This psychological paradox is essentially a sophisticated form of guilt-modified indirect aggression, which is fascinating because it weaponizes a duty to be pleasant for hidden control maneuvers. You might see them smile, but underneath they manufacture resentment over every slight, and pushed, they cry victim because they think niceness is a public service that guarantees them a free pass. It creates a twisted dynamic where they remain the heroic protagonist of their own sad story, while secretly holding you emotionally hostage. It isn't genuine kindness, it's just passive-aggressive theater, designed to manipulate anyone who fails to respect these invisible, unrealistic standards. Think about that specific moment when a partner is rude and you just smile to avoid a fight. That silent lack of response, that is the nice trap. The nice person acts as a peacekeeper, effectively wrapping a cushion around sharp discomfort so they never actually have to feel it. Psychologically, this is often a retreat into avoidance, prioritizing a superficial harmony over a truthful interaction. It's like trying to water a plant by only sprinkling the top leaf and pretending the roots aren't rotting. Real kindness, however, doesn't hide the problem. It diagnoses it. It's the bold move of saying, "This hurts me," even if it creates a momentary tension. True kindness turns that friction into understanding, whereas fake niceness just smiles until the entire foundation collapses. Stay with me to uncover why being real is actually the most caring thing you can do. Stop treating your self-worth like borrowed cash, that amiable demeanor everyone loves. It's likely just fear manifesting as tired compliance. Psychologically, this is the people-pleasing trap, where you trade your peace for temporary social approval, effectively turning yourself into a human vacuum cleaner. You can't pour from an empty vessel, so stop letting others suck your soul dry until you're emotionally shriveled. The moment that automatic doormat response hits your tongue, hit the panic button and pause to ask yourself, does this actually serve a purpose, or did I just say yes to avoid conflict? True kindness isn't about wallflower softness, it's about definitive boundaries. So the next time you feel like you're dissolving into the floor, hold your ground, because the only way to be truly kind is to show up as a whole person. Let's truly look at what kindness means. It isn't just a polite social lubricant, it is a collision of strength and grace. When you say no to disrespect because you value the connection more than your own ego, that is ruthlessly kind. It's essentially emotional fencing. It protects your capacity so you don't burn out. If you are constantly drained because you are simply agreeable, you are powerful, you are depleted. But true kindness is like a fortress with an open door. It invites peace without losing ground. When you operate from a place of radical abundance rather than scarcity, you stop playing small. The world doesn't need another people pleaser. It needs a leader who lights a way with empathy. So make your kindness a shield against the noise, not a crutch for your ego.